My name is Doc Hall. I'm Program Manager of Face-to-Face in the Emmaus Ministries office of the Upper Room. As face-to-face leaders, we want to be invitational and connectional, highlighting the ways face-to-face strengthens individuals as well as communities of faith. Our purpose in sharing this short training video is to give pointers for engaging churches, clergy, and retirement center coordinators who may or may not have some knowledge of Emmaus and face-to-face. Either way, we have an exciting opportunity to share the good news of God's grace with church leaders, congregations, and community centers in our neighborhoods and communities. How do we prepare? To prepare for your conversations with folks about face-to-face and to make the most of your meetings, keep these things in mind. First, write a script and practice it. You don't need to bring the script with you or read it word for word, but it is always helpful to have bullet points of the main things you want to share so you don't forget something. You can leave these main points in a face-to-face brochure with the person at the end of your meeting so they have a reference after you leave. Number 2, make an appointment. We all lead busy lives. Pastors and other professionals are no different. Call ahead of time to make an appointment and get on their schedule so that you have 20 to 30 minutes of their devoted and undistracted time, and they know they have the same thing from you. Number 3, be prepared to talk about face-to-face on a moment's notice. You need to know enough about face-to-face, about what it offers, how it's structured, when it's happening. So if someone wants to know about the program ministry immediately, you can share some highlights right then and there. Number 4, be on time and don't overstay your welcome. Say what you need to say. Listen to what they have to say and be respectful of the time they are spending with you. Number 5, always follow up with an email or a thank you note. After talking with someone, whether in a scheduled meeting or on the fly, always follow up with an email or some other correspondence that thanks them for their time, that gives them your contact information and directs them to the face-to-face website where they can learn more. People's experiences with and knowledge of Emmaus and face-to-face varies. For this reason, be prepared to customize the information you share based on their level of involvement with Emmaus and/or face-to-face. Keep these things in mind. Begin your discussion by asking questions, such as, what experience have you had with the programs such as the Walk to Emmaus and Chrysalis? Be respectful and listen. Value their input. If they've had no experience with Emmaus, share with them some of the benefits of the Emmaus program ministries. Tell them that our programs focus primarily on the 4th day, that the Walk to Emmaus and Chrysalis are both 3-day events, so we focus on how to live our Christian discipleship in the 4th day, which is every day after the event. The 4th day is living out our love of God and others through study, piety, and Christian action in the world. It is always good to use personal stories here and stories from your own walk or your own community experience. If they've had a little experience with Emmaus and understand the purpose of the programs, you can share with them about face-to-face, this new program ministry from the Upper Room in the Emmaus tradition. If they've had a negative experience with Emmaus, and let's face it, some folks have, listen carefully to their concerns and validate them. In the early years of these programs, some communities did become rather cliquish, insulated, and divisive. But as our communities have focused more on the 4th day, these difficulties have been minimized or alleviated completely. Remember, the purpose of all Emmaus programs is to raise up leaders for the local church. Finally, when you get to sharing directly about face-to-face, number 1, be specific. Share when your community will host its next encounter, how it's scheduled, how much it costs, whether there are lunches involved, and so on. Number 2, name the benefits of face-to-face. If your community has been involved with face-to-face, you already have some stories of how this program has had a positive effect on the pilgrims, on their churches, and on the world. But if not, share some of what you've experienced through face-to-face and other Emmaus program ministries. For example, I have seen older adults who believed they were done with ministry return to their churches and their communities on fire for the Lord. I've seen men who were struggling with the grief of war experiences 50 or 60 years old embrace each other as they were able to release those feelings. I've seen grandmothers with special needs grandchildren, knowing that their loved ones' lives will be challenging and difficult, share this burden with a new friend who is struggling with the same issue. Face to Face helps older adults deal with grief and end-of-life issues and empowers them to stay involved in the ministries of the church. Third, emphasize the importance of clergy and congregational involvement with Face to Face and the Fourth Day Movement. Encourage pastors and leaders to talk with pilgrims before and after their encounter so they can share together in the preparations and the desires of the pilgrim. In this way, pastors and leaders can help the pilgrim discover their continued ministry. Emphasize that the pastor or a designated staff member meet with a pilgrim after they attend a face-to-face encounter. Encourage them to be curious about what the person learned, what they experienced, and how they can help identify the ministry where they can best engage their passion for God and the world. Number 4, ask if they might be interested in becoming involved with Face to Face. Share ways they can help sponsor church members on a face-to-face encounter. Ask how they would like to promote this program in their church and share with them the tools we have available for them to do so. They might also like to be a pilgrim on a face-to-face encounter or walk to Emmaus themselves, so they might be able to fully understand and enjoy the power and the joy of these programs. I want to thank you for joining me for this face-to-face recruitment training video. The future of face-to-face relies on all of us sharing the good news of God's grace, one invitation and one conversation at a time. Be sure to share this video with others who are inviting folks to face-to-face encounters. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call or email me at the information here. Join us as we encounter the risen Christ face to face.